Hello, fellow Posters Award for Most Blatantly Promoted Video Game Product. The nominees are...
Hello once again, you absolute legends. Before we get to the winner, we'd like to take a minute to mention this show's sponsor, Raid: Shadow Legends. Raid has smashed the mobile market this past year with detailed models, beautiful environments, and a smooth 60 FPS gameplay experience. Raid: Shadow Legends ensures the highest quality mobile experience that competes with consoles and PC as well. Every champion can be customized with tons of unique gear and ridiculous skills to help you plan out your perfect party and conquer your foes with strategy. With over 50 million unique downloads, over 1.5 million reviews, and a near 5-star rating on the Google Play Store, Raid continues to grow by the day. And if you join now with our special offer, you'll receive 50,000 silver and a free epic champion. Download the game now and look for our clan by searching Vidya. Good luck, and we'll see you there. Now, back to the award. The winner of this 2020's Hello Fellow Posters Award is Raid: Shadow Legends. Raid has smashed the mobile market this past year with detailed models, beautiful environments, and a smooth 60 FPS gameplay experience. Raid: Shadow Legends ensures the
IP Twist Award for Best New Implementation of an Old Franchise. Black Mesa. Risk of Rain 2. Half-Life Alyx. Yakuza: Like a Dragon. Doom Eternal. Half-Life Alyx. Despite all that extra baggage and an entry fee starting at 1,000 US dollar dues, you voted that yes, it was somehow worth the wait. True to its predecessors, Half-Life Alyx is a lonely, atmospheric trudge through rust and rot, filled with cornered alien fauna that really doesn't want to be there, and contrasted by some form of military that really doesn't want you to be there. The gaps in between are dotted with some more or less STEM-themed puzzles, and once in a blue moon, a memorable character or two will show up to break the oppressive mood. You like mood? City 17 is back in all its dilapidated Soviet glory, but you'll be taking the scenic route through a quarantine zone, where the Combine is actively hosing everything with organic terraforming coom, resulting in meaty Zen-like biostructure. You like thinking? Navigating this mess of Slav garbage and breathing walls presents similar environmental challenges to previous games. However, box stacking, seesawing monkey fizz prop puzzles are gone entirely. In their place are spatial holographic minigames representing conduit rewiring, lockpicking, hacking, and bomb defusal. If Gordon was a cart pusher with a gun, Alyx is a cable guy with a gun. You like shooting at cool enemies? Headcrabs got fat as fuck and ragdolled themselves around the environment. You like good characters? This guy's alright. This Vortigaunt is the fucking best. And the returning cast like Eli? It's kind of like standing in a room with a living meme. There are compromises for the format, sure. One of Half-Life's oldest marketing catchphrases was run, think, shoot, live. And unless you happen to live in a warehouse, poor Run absolutely took one for the team here. Along with the accompanying stretches of open space. No high-speed clangety-clang melee either. However, barring technical complaints, the larger concerns from players more or less seem to end there. So good job, Valve. By all means, This should have been the one to launch Half-Life into irrelevancy over by poor old Mr. Nukem. But instead, it's just good video games.
Haptic Feedback Award for Best Gameplay. Half-Life Alyx. Hades.
I shall protect you, cousin.
Noita. Risk of Rain 2. Doom Eternal. Doom Eternal. Let's not mince words here. We all know why this game is here. There isn't anything majorly complex about Doom's combat. Everybody knows it. Rip and tear. But at the same time, that's the beauty of it. Its simplicity. There's been a strange trend in recent years where developers seem keen on shoving a million pointless mechanics into a game just to try and give you the illusion of having stylish combat. But really, why would you ever use those stealth options when running in guns blazing is faster and even more efficient? Doom doesn't dress it up. You go in, you kill, you move on, repeat. That's it. Fast-paced shooting, ripping demons in half with your bare hands. And this time, you can fly around the map with a sword while doing it. I must kill the demons, you tell yourself. But no. You are the demon.
Blue Check Mark Award, and the nominees are
There's going to be more critical discourse around Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima's cultural appropriation.
Defend the game against criticism. Asians will have different perspectives than Asian Americans. It's not complicated. So yes, what you're seeing here is apparently
Epic versus Apple.
Young white woman.
Space Buns.
That's pretty much like the gist of it. I don't need to go through more of this, but I mean, you can pause and see all these dumb comments for yourself. It was an endless list.
Social justice protests.
Can you hear us?
5 or 6 years ago, it wasn't even long. Nintendo probably
Hashtag free melee.
all this awareness this ridiculous striking.
The results are Space Buns.
Only fitting that this year's most pointless controversy fuck, I used the wrong fucking template. Hold on. Okay, alright. Alright, let's go back to the start, please. Alright. Only fitting that this year's most pointless controversy somehow stems from Twitter, the one site that has somehow managed to usurp 4chan as the arsehole of the internet, and of all this comes from fucking Animal Crossing of all things. To catch anyone who doesn't rightfully look into these things up, all of this started when someone posted a picture of their character sporting afro puffs in Animal Crossing, and mistakenly calling them cute space buns, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it. In fact, That's actually everything to it, in fact. The girl got harassed, actually. She received tens of thousands of angry replies, supposedly had her information doxed, and ended up deleting her account. And yeah, I'm not fucking making this up. Now, keep in mind, these people are complaining about racial identity being erased while playing as a euphormous blob with an orange triangle for a nose. Honestly, I'm really not sure what there is to say about this, even as Nintendo responded to the poster's query, telling them any clothing and hairstyle can be used by anyone. Now, while I'm sure you may not care about racial identity being snuffed out in a video game about animals and them crossing whatever, I sure as wish Twitter just shut the fuck up for once! Fuck! Man, I cannot fucking stand that fucking site anymore. Holy fuck. Also, I know I said Amphibious wrong. It's like amorphous, isn't it? Oh, he can't fucking say words properly. He must be retarded. Fuck off! Fuck! Just fuck off.
New Challenger Award for Best New IP. And the nominees are Hades, Ghost of Tsushima, Helltaker, Noida, Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, and the winner is Hades. The magic of Supergiant seemed to have faded a few years back after Transistor. Things just sort of went quiet for the folks over there for a while. But behind the scenes, they were scheming up the ultimate, whatever the hell genre their games are. While Bastion was good and Transistor was competent, Hades manages to excel in everything those two titles tried and then some. The gameplay and story mesh well, providing consistently smooth and customizable combat styles, and combining that with the replayability a roguelike game brings to the table gives us a title with perhaps not as much replayability as other roguelikes, but a much larger impact that seems to resonate with far more players than a traditional, more narratively shallow entry in the genre would otherwise. In a market oversaturated with sequels and remakes, it's refreshing to see an indie dev so set on reinventing the wheel with every game. None of the games are truly too different in the end, but focusing on interaction instead of advancement proves they know how to keep their games interesting.
Hyper. Bully Award for Best Trailer. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition.
You can't kill your own father.
It's true. You never recover from that.
No More Heroes 3.
You play the prequels first. Welcome to the Garden of Madness.
Bring it on! I'll give you a little.
Cyberpunk
And all
2077.
Strive to outplay one another. Ordinary people get caught in the crossfire.
Looking for justice in Night City.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Doom Eternal.
There is only one dominant life form in this universe, and it carries a steel balance.
More Heroes 3. I'll be honest with you guys. I think when you voted for this trailer, you were probably thinking about the E3 2019 trailer, and not the one that actually came out this year. But I could always be wrong. After all, you all have had an appetite for Travis to return in a mainline game for a decade now. And Suda51 has finally responded. It's all here. Travis touchdown sexiness being punched up by Robin Atkin Downs, the cast being punched up by our favorite passing assassin, and our expectations being punched up by second for second in-engine fuckhead fisting footage. Actually, now that I think about it, 2020's trailer revealed the first 2 games being ported to Switch. Maybe you guys just voted this trailer because you really, really liked the first 2 games.
Smug Pessimist Award for Most Disappointing Game. Battletoads. Warcraft 3 Reforged. Marvel's Avengers.
Just like me to travel across the country chasing rumors.
Cyberpunk 2077. The Last of Us Part 2. Cyberpunk. Oh my god! Who could have possibly seen this coming? This is unheard of! I'm shocked and devastated! Let me try to gain my composure. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. Another year, another flunk. It's practically expected now that at least one big game each year will disappoint absolutely everyone and their moms with some buggy piece of shit launch. Somehow, CD Projekt managed to completely evaporate 8 years of hype and respect from their fanbase, seemingly overnight. It takes legitimate skill to accomplish something like that. Let's take a step back and consider what we were supposed to receive. Next-level graphics, AI-driven storytelling, a world hand-tailored to be the cyber and/or punk experience you could have possibly imagined. A tale of strife as you climb your way up to the top of the sprawling neon lights and dark, gritty streets. Flying cars, streetwalkers, police beating down even a simple jaywalker, all within the confines of a perpetually midnight city of lights. But no. This is the white-collar crime of Cyberpunk, the most milquetoast imagining of a dystopian world possible, as if they pulled half the map from GTA 5, desert included, added an occasional car that flies through solid buildings, and slapped some wires onto your wrist and called it a game. What a shame. Even Keanu couldn't save this train wreck of a game. Oh well. Cut out wall running. Let's get Alana Pierce in the studio instead. Maybe another E-Celeb cameo will save the game.
The Guilty Pleasure Award for the game I like but V hates. And the nominees are Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Demon's Souls is Deadly Premonition 2.
What did I tell you?
A Blessing in Disguise.
Value is a relative thing. We needed to find that figurine, no matter the cost.
Fall Guys. Ultimate Knockout. Vor Fetish for Preteens. The game.
Children.
Just thinking about it. You're getting a chill because the fire's gone out.
Demon Souls. How fucking weird is it to write a speech about how much V hates Demon Souls? Look, I know, it's a remake, the laziest form of re-releasing, just behind remastering, but it's easy money for FromSoft that I'm sure they'll definitely put into Elden Ring when it eventually comes out, right? Well, looking at Bluepoint's handiwork, it becomes immediately evident why this game is at the top of V's shit list. Nice designs don't really mean anything when they're generic and clashing with the original art style. The remake is just lacking the original game's charm, and hell, some of us liked the jankiness. It complemented the refreshingly new mechanics at the time. Look, at this point, the 2009 game can be compared to a finely printed vinyl record. One that took 6 hours to set up on some obscure record player that shipped from the ass crack of the world. It's got some scratchiness to it, some grit in the sound, but it's part of the experience and one that you can't beat. And while V, being the hipsters they are, can't stand the idea of listening to their once favorite album on a digital format, some people care more for the music than the experience itself. And you know, that's just fine.
The Little Game That Could Award for Best Game That Nobody Played. The nominees are Wasteland 3, Carrion, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, Samurai Jack Battle Through Time, Bloodstain Curse of the Moon 2, and the winner is Carrion. You guys really fucking liked games about hell this year. Doom Eternal, Hades, Helltaker, and now this? Well, in Carrion, you're not just in hell, you are hell. Slither around as a monstrous blob, consuming everything in your path with a ravenous anger as you head downstairs to your parents' basement, where you can play Carrion and slither around as a monstrous blob in-game instead. With stunning pixel art graphics and a fantastic physics sandbox to play around in, you can enact your dream of being in a John Carpenter movie, navigating around the research lab, powering up and tossing about anyone who gets in your way. The blob ignores what little story there is and focuses on what's truly fun, ripping literally everything in half. Hopefully, this award inspires some of you to go back and pick up the game, and perhaps some of the other nominees, if even just to experience the physics and visuals for yourself.
Hate Machine Award for Crimes Against Gaming. SJWs. China.
Me dio tiempo nada ponerme la chancla y el bañador. Voy a la playa, había subido la marea.
Microtransactions and gacha games.
Boxes or pay-to-win scenarios.
Why are we still here?
just to suffer. Activision Blizzard.
Just give me money!
Neil Druckmann.
No great artist sees things as they really are. If he did, he would cease to be an artist.
Okay, our glorious leader.
China's motto is serve the people. Yet they only serve themselves to their growing power on the world stage. And it shows how Western game developers are forced to decide between bending the knee or depriving themselves of their largest market share. Financial bankruptcy at worst, moral bankruptcy at best. At least 3 other nominees from this category were either influenced or caused by China. From increasingly predatory gacha mechanics to having major Western companies bend the knee to Tencent because of their user majority consisting of Chinese players, to being ground zero for COVID-19 itself. The unfortunate fact of the matter is, China's large market share of people is just too appealing for big companies who want all that yuan. And so, their political shenanigans seep into the gaming world, including their shameless censorship and predatory gacha mechanics, among other violations of consumer rights. China's here to stay. There's no changing that, sadly. All we can hope is that some kind of miracle happens that suddenly makes it unprofitable to focus on them as a market above your Western fans. But considering how high their tolerance for shitty practices are, I think that's a long, long ways away.
My grandmother's funeral was early this morning. Things were difficult, but the service was beautiful and everyone kept their composure as best as they were able. As mentioned earlier, I'm a complete and utter social wreck in these situations. I couldn't make it all the way through the wake yesterday, even. So I was in no psychological state to attend the post-burial let's all eat potluck and somberly socialize business afterwards. Life will go on in any case. It's only now starting to dawn on me, with the weight of today now starting to recede, that my impending move is also fast approaching. Given that so much of this SMB3 project has been about nostalgia, I suddenly realized just how utterly wrong it would be for me to finish this playthrough somewhere other than this house, my childhood home, where all the others that led up to it were played. There can be no equivocating now. No, well, it'll be fine if the last few bits are done somewhere else later. I will finish this before I move. Bob Chipman, Thursday, June 21st, 2012.
Redemption Arc Award for Biggest Redemption in Gaming. Sega. Microsoft and Xbox. No Man's Sky. Valve. Capcom. No Man's Sky. 5 years ago, No Man's Sky came out on a hype train, riding through the stars. Unfortunately, it very quickly crashed face first into the first celestial body in its path. Lambasted by V and Reddit alike, it was as if the entire collective internet came together to laugh at this game and how horrendously it failed to deliver on its promises. But now, it's honestly not a stretch to say it's become one of the best bang-for-your-buck games on the market. With consistent free content patches bringing new experiences and swaths of bug fixes, the game has managed to gather an extremely dedicated following that can actually play together. Finally, it's pretty clear after everything was said and done that Sean Murray wasn't a lord of lies like Todd. He was just a guy who got a bit in over his head when talking to press and didn't stop to double check whether his promises were feasible. But props to Hello Games. They took the criticism like champs, buckled down, and decided to set things right. And honestly, right now, that's a very welcome change of pace. Let it live on as a sign to devs that they don't need to just pump and dump games. Spend some time focusing on the wrongs and rights and reward your community for their dedication. And in the end, it'll come out all right. And now V, apologize.
Fahrenheit.
What did you do, Kenny? The bastard kid! You've been looking at kids!
2020 award for best writing. Helltaker. "13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim."
ここで転移して未来へ逃げたんだよ。
Ghost of Tsushima. Hades.
They absorbed my blow.
Yakuza, Like a Dragon.
どうしたヤクザのくせにやり方知らねえのか
Yakuza, Like a Dragon. Yakuza has always been prone to some very clever and talented writing, as a series that juggles comedy and tragedy ought to be. besides seamlessly swapping between the two tones. Sega also made sure to implement older aspects of the series, like reoccurring towns and characters in restrained, respectful manners, giving a nod to what came before and fitting it in with the present happenings, wrapping it up with a cohesive adulation. Even looking past the prior entries, Yakuza Like a Dragon is still able to stand on its own 2 feet, with the same juggling and nods as before, while adding in a whole slew of things that give the game a more unique and fresh feel. Keep in mind the writing doesn't just stop at character interactions, which there are plenty of, but even extends into the silliness of the series as well. Lyrics for karaoke songs, bizarre comedic scenarios that don't really translate well to Western humor. Hell, even a quest where you fight a giant Roomba. What can we say? It's Yakuza writing. It wasn't broken, so they didn't fix it. They just improved on it.
The Pottery Award for Worst Writing. And the nominees are Marvel's Avengers.
Agreeable grunt.
The Last of Us Part 2.
What you got there?
Bacon sandwiches.
Smells good.
Did you take care
Watch
of
Dogs
this?
Legion.
You alright, gal? That fucking arsehole was ready to murk you proper.
He was. I'm fine. I just need a second to catch my breath and find.
Battletoads.
Solved it! Solve what? Come in, brothers. Are we brothers? We never talk about it. Doesn't matter. Take a seat, I'll stand. No. You stand, I'll sit. Everyone sit!
Isn't
World
it
of
obvious,
Warcraft
Lord Chief?
Shadowlands.
I serve the Horde.
Watch your clever mouth, bitch!
And the winner is the one you already knew was going to win, The Last of Us Part 2. As if straight out of an entry-level college course, Druckmann and his team set out to create the most uninspired revenge plot possible. Naughty Dog started this endeavor by retconning the previous game's writing and using that retcon to set up possibly the most hateable character of all time. Then, they make you play as them, and in exchange, they set up the previous character you played as yet another most hateable character of all time. That makes you play as them again. Like, we get what you were going for, Neil, we do. You wanted to show that deaths aren't always glorious. You wanted to show the gritty, savage nature of humanity when survival and revenge are on the table. But you didn't set up 2 characters with unique stories and motivations. You set up 2 absolutely unlikable bitches that we want nothing to do with. Then gave them both an entourage of obnoxious pests to follow them around like a swarm of mosquitoes you just can't escape from. In your attempts to portray the raw, unbridled fury of humanity, Neil, you managed to forget possibly the most important aspect of video games. We pay $60 for these fucking things. We want to come home and unwind for a few hours and have some fun. Why would we ever pay that much money just to be miserable? There's not even a payoff. Like, honestly, what did you expect?
Pixels Are Art Award for Most Pretentious Indie Game. Necro Barista. Tell me why.
And the only way to move forward is to keep looking back.
Only ever been in love.
Telling lies.
I was with a girl I met when I was 18, but I was too young and naive to handle it properly.
Coffee talk. Kentucky Route Zero. Tell me why. Yeah. Journals adore thee, but I'm still snoring believe when I say I hate this video game. Deep in Alaska, your choice won't matter. Don't nod. Made life is strange. Zoomer adventure game. Tell me why they made the game like TV. Tell me why a sitcom but in 3D. Tell me why the most pretentious indie game at these VGAs. Oh, at these VGAs. Yowza. Tell me why. Let me tell you. Tell me why. Tell me why I should care about a game with no explosions or anime boobies. You want to explore emotion? Well, let me tell you, the only thing you'll be exploring is the bargain bin. I mean, I heard the game was a real barn burner, but yeesh.
Ocarina of All Time Award for Best Video Music Composer of All Time. Nobuo Uematsu. Koji Kondo. Mick Gordon. Yoko Shimomura. Hideki Naganuma.
すごくポップでありかつクールな絵だったので、それに似合う。
Nobuo Uematsu. Nobuo Uematsu stands above the crowd as one of the most well-known and beloved composers in video game history. For those who don't pay attention to Square Enix or Japanese games, the man has been responsible for practically every Final Fantasy title's soundtrack ever made, exuding mastery over both electronic and orchestral soundtracks. Between the balls-to-the-wall boss themes and the soft, somber melodies that make even the angriest man-child tear up, the man always manages to produce some of the finest examples of tone-setting soundtracks imaginable, lovingly crafted with thought put into every note. Uematsu's legacy will forever be cemented as one of the finest video game composers of all time. Kamige Award for Best Eroge. And the nominees are Black Souls 2, Honey Select 2, summer memories. Rants 1 and 2. Nikopara Volume 4. Rants 1 and 2. In a world where every other porn game is made via RPG Maker, Unity, or Honey Select assets, props to Alice Soft for shooting straight and delivering proper games for 30 plus years. While Rants 2 suffers from being a bit too faithful, 1 on the other hand removes most of the tedium from the first title, and adds some of the extra features from later titles to spice itself up even more. Furthermore, swapping out the boring exploration of the original for an actually pretty nifty little card game keeps the experience fresh, with the bountiful encounters and hilarious misfortunes that get thrown at you constantly. Some would say the art lacks the dithered charm of the originals, but it's a faithful enough adaptation for a younger generation, so I can't really complain. It could have been so much worse after all. Either way, it's nice for us non-Nihon speaking Westerners to finally have a way to experience the origins of the series without having to spelunk through the wiki. The series may have finished in Japan, but with the translation for Rant's Quest Magnum and Rant's X in the distance, I'm sure it'll be popping up here for a good few years to come.
Award Gate for Worst Fan Base.
We just want to cut
Naughty
something
Dog
together
fans.
just to see if it works. So she sends me this simple recording she just threw together, and it's so like beautiful.
V.
Don't put too much water because for some reason it makes weird.
Reddit. Nin Toddlers. Super Smash Bros. Fans. Reddit. There is no user base that is more self-aggrandizing, hopelessly unfunny, and shameless than the hordes of teenagers and man-children constantly circle-jerking their upvote buttons and Reddit Gold Awards. Like leeches, they swarm on any game or company that appeals to them, sucking any sort of nuanced discussion out of them by putting it on a pedestal and just sucking it dry. Every main subreddit is a cesspit of power users circle-jerking each other's hot takes, power-tripping mods that ban any sort of dissent unless they personally agree with it, and casuals with no sense of taste or reason brainlessly upvoting posts that don't need it.
Does anyone else think that The Witcher 3 is the best game ever? Hey, check out this cool Skyrim meme I stole from Twitter.
Whoa, look at this Zelda cake my girlfriend made me for my birthday!
Every single post regurgitated over and over again ad nauseum. Not even these subreddits are free of this shit! God, I fucking hate Reddit! Fuck!
The Seal of Quality Award for biggest technical blunder.
It's only going to cost
PlayStation
400 bucks for that. Now, if you don't want to pay that much, if you don't want to pay $600-700, that's fine. But you're going to be stuck on last gen.
Marvel's Avengers.
It's car sex.
Cyberpunk 2077.
I think the girls with their nails done.
Cooking Mama Cookstar.
My wife still doesn't believe in me. I'm telling him, honey, listen, this is real. Oh, no. That's a scam.
Warcraft 3 Reforged.
Oh no, we're too late.
Cyberpunk 2077. You were waiting for it, and sure enough, it's arrived. CD Projekt's foray into the future has somehow ended up even more of a dystopian nightmare than the world they're trying to portray. It's like they looked at the ending to Human Revolution and said, "Damn, this is cool as hell. Let's make an entire game about technology bugging the fuck out." Now there's plenty of areas we can go into depth with when it comes to technical blunders with Cyberpunk. Performance, behavioral, external. Yeah, external. As in save corruptions. Save corruptions that took 8 weeks to patch out. Know what caused it? Save file bloat from tagging your items as crafted. How on earth does that even happen? How does a game delayed 3 times after an 8-year development still manage to release on consoles with a single-digit average frame rate? Hell, how does a company say, without even a hint of irony, that they have the most organic city of all time, knowing full well that people just hop out of their car and uniformly cower in place the second they hear a gunshot or explosion? There's no real way to excuse it, especially when your game is 70 gigs on launch with a day 1 patch more than half that size. It's abundantly clear that CDPR got a bit too big for their britches after their success with The Witcher 3. And with the absolutely staggering amount of years they invested into the game, you'd think they'd have more to hype up than out-of-place E-celeb cameos and penises. Remember though, in the end, CD Projekt Red is Polish, and there's a reason why Eastern European games are called Eurojank.
Roadmap award for best map, level, or arena in a video game. CTF 24.
Why don't we just keep up, partner?
Final Destination. DE Dust 2. U1M1. City Escape. DE Dust 2.
We've all been here. We all know the ins and outs. We all have our preferred routes. And
Hi guys, I've joined now.
Whether playing serious or dicking around with friends on a community server, depth, layout, visuals, and choke points complement all playstyles. Because of that, it's outlasted every other map. Fuck, I died. Why don't We've all been here. We all know the ins and outs. We all have our preferred routes. We've all rushed B. Whether playing serious or dicking around with friends on a community server, just layout, visuals, and choke points complement all playstyles. And because of that, it's outlasted every other map in both memorability and playability. You remember it from 1.6, you play it and go. There's a reason why Valve has a server dedicated entirely to it. It's ageless. It's timeless.
Plot and Backstory Award for Best Representation of Women. And the nominees are 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Genshin Impact. Helltaker. Trials of Mana. And the winner is Helltaker. It says a lot about a man who's willing to make an entire game dedicated to his extremely specific fetish. It says even more about the man who nominates it for an award, specifically because of that dedication to the fetish. Helltaker's quest for a harem of women is reminiscent of my own adventures, plunging deeper and deeper into the bowels of Lord knows what, or who, on a never-ending journey of getting absolutely fucking smothered by thick-thighed, business professional demonic women. Living up to the term free love, Helltaker as well offers you this experience for the low, low price of absolutely nothing. You too can journey down to the depths of depravity with the sole intention of getting fucked. Hell, you'll probably be coming out with a profit after you make your deposit into the spank bank. I guess the Poles really do know their sausage. Oh, game's pretty fun too, I guess.
The Van Darkholm Award for Best Representation of Men. Ghost of Tsushima.
That old dog has changed you up alright. Give you everything you need to live inside.
Genshin Impact.
Sleep beside an empty rage. I had a dream I was your hero. Damn.
Hades.
I was your lover. I'd rock you till the daylight comes. Made sure you are smiling and warm. I am everything. Tonight I'll be your
Doom Eternal.
I'll do such things to ease your pain. Free your mind and you won't be ashamed.
Yakuza Like a Dragon.
This monkey can stand to see you black and blue. I give you something sweet each time you come inside my jungle book. What is it, just too good? Don't say you'll stay, cause then you'll go away. Damn, I wish I was your
Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yakuza's back with a splash, one that smells suspiciously similar to the sweat dripping down these big, girthy bodies. Laying it all on the table hot and heavy, Sega hit the reset button on everything you knew about the series, starting first with a brand new character. Kasuga's spunky attitude and youthful demeanor is a refreshing change of pace compared to the stern personality of Kiryu, who still makes an appearance. As if the developers knew you'd need even just a taste of him to stay hooked. Unsheathe your katana, go get a few tattoos, and chug down a bottle of sake, because this entry's raw, unfiltered man-musk is about to stuff itself right into your little gamer hole. And let me tell you from experience, it doesn't go back to being tight afterwards. Hope you like dragons, cause Ichiban's dragging his nuts across your face from the very moment gameplay starts.
Balkanization Award for Worst V Satellite Board. The nominees are VM, Video Games / Multiplayer. VP, Pokemon. VG, Video Game Generals. VRPG, Video Games / RPG. VMG, Video Games / Mobile. And the winner is VMG, Video Games / Mobile. Look, Hero, let's be real for a second. What were you trying to accomplish with this? Generally, you create a solution to try and answer a problem. But the problem already had a solution in the form of VG. Did you think this board would be popular? Did you think it would be used? The Coomer threads on V haven't stopped. The gacha shilling hasn't stopped. You haven't saved a damn thing. It serves no purpose. The entire board is just month-old threads about the latest flavor of the month cash grab that's going to hemorrhage its user base over the next year before swiftly ending service. Threads upon dead threads of people fawning over bloated numbers and imaginary boat girls. A medium won't develop if it doesn't have a standard on consumption. Phones are the lowest common denominator. There's no dexterity involved. There's no tech buy-in. Everyone already has them. Hell, half the games literally play themselves. So, thanks for giving us another board, I guess. I'll try to remember it exists in the future.
Jackie Chan Award for Best Character. And the nominees are Doomslayer from Doom Eternal, G-Man from Half-Life Alyx,
is not as important as what I can offer you in exchange for
Kazuma Kiryu from Yakuza Like a Dragon, Ichiban Kasuga from Yakuza Like a Dragon,
Whoa! Aren't you President Ichiban from Ichiban Confections? I sure am.
Zagreus from Hades, and the winner is Ichiban Kasuga. The team behind Yakuza hit a good balance with Kasuga. He's passionate and loyal while still managing to maintain a goofy, lovable side to him. As though he were created in a lab by splicing together the genes of Kiryu and Majima, Sega knew it would be a huge risk to replace the 20-year protagonist with a new character, but in the end it paid off spectacularly. Like a child staring out the window on a long car ride, Kasuga is a massive loser who is obsessed with video games to the point where he imagines himself in everyday scenarios as though they were scenes from Dragon Quest. From hunting down series sidewalk pissers to beating down enemy gangs with trash can lids and dildos, Kasuga must have made one hell of an impression on you guys, considering you even voted him above Kiryu. Let's hope we'll be seeing more of the...
Here we go.
Wait,
2020 BJs.
what the hell?
This one's for Ichiban. Let's go.
They said the games were through, they said it could not be done. They said that Kiryu could not just be replaced. With a suit and goofy grin, the fans all let him into their hearts and found their fears were misplaced. He's not the hero that we expected, but maybe he's the one we need right now. Take a risk or two, start anew. Ichiban is number one, no one else that it could be. Professional hero just for fun and then some. Ichiban is number one, no one else that it could be. Till you pass the torch and you even as Makima's lightning. Yakuza naysayers can have their own opinions, but Kiryu's in second place and this game has earned its acclaim. So for now, Ichiban is number one.
Scrappy Doo Award for Worst Character. Dark Queen.
You're unflappable. Suck my frigging butt, you backstabbing punks! Chug my dump truck, you stinky wimps! Beep, beep.
Abby. Ellie. Kamala Khan. Dina. Abby. You guys must have really hated this game. I mean, the top 3 choices were all from The Last of Us, but you picked Abby out amongst the crowd. So perhaps we should sit down and analyze that. What is it about her that stands out? Well, look, I know you guys don't care about e-celebs. Let's just discuss one single quote from Yahtzee. This game is about shitty people taking the most irrational course of action. Now, Abby does a lot of senseless killing and violence, like Ellie. That elevates her to at least a sociopathic state. But Joel killed a lot of people too, so what's the real problem here? Well, it's 2 things. First impressions and sympathy. Our first impressions of Joel and Ellie were more about understanding what made them tick and their general reasoning, so we could grow to understand them and why they did what they did in their making of a lot of selfish actions. Abby's first impression was taking Joel to the driving range in the sky, which immediately makes her public enemy number 1 in the player's mind. Getting back to the second issue at hand, Naughty Dog tries, and fails, to force us to understand Abby's logic and reasoning. Even when throwing us into her shoes, we're still left dumbfounded what on earth would cause her to behave the way she does. She never even stops to reflect upon her actions or tries to understand the consequences of them, like Joel did in the first game. This isn't irrational hatred, it's common fucking sense to dislike psychopathic maniacs. Alright, look, I've ranted long enough. You could probably write a college thesis on attempting to decipher what in the hell Neil was trying to make us think when writing her character, but any attempt at a serious analysis is just going to get you labeled a hater, or something stupid on his Twitter, so I won't bother. She's a fucking joke of a character. End of discussion.
In a year like no other, 'twas pleasant to find a comforting vidya to ease up the mind. The consoles, the handhelds, and old PC too had awesome releases to help see us through. Though V's always flooded with impudent posts, we quietly understand what matters most. The thrill of a game we're excited to start, snuggled up safe in our home by the hearth. The nominees are Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Factorio, Animal Crossing: New Horizons, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2, and the winner is Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Okay. What an interesting fluke. The game was delayed. The team had worked hard, but the crunch held at bay. With love and with care, they made true their vision, and gave us an island with depth and decisions. Make it your own, either trashy or artful. Just don't go to auction for Raymond or Marshall. To Animal Crossing, well done, you've succeeded, and at just the right time, gave us just what we needed. So there you go, V, this year's most relaxing game. Too bad your shitty opinions and my superior ones are not the same. God damn it, you fuckers! Factorio is so much better! Third place? Are you fucking kidding me? You absolute dumb cunts! Look at me with my glassy-eyed triangle nose fuckface watering flowers and shit! Where is the sense of accomplishment? Where is the sense of satisfying achievement? Your opinions are bad, therefore you are bad. Cunts! God, I'm sick of this shit! God, I fucking hate V! Fuck!
The Aesthetics Award for Best Visual Aesthetics. Doom Eternal. Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Ghost of Tsushima. Hylics 2. Hades. Hades. Supergiant is definitely no slouch when it comes to striking visuals. Pretty much all of their games have had some unique art elements to them, and while Hades certainly continues that trend, the devs took this title in a different direction entirely, ignoring their usual painterly visuals and opting instead to go with what can only be described as a comic book. Utilizing broad, thick outlines, heavy use of color contrast, mastery of hard shading, and some of the most unconventional character design I think we've ever seen in a piece of Greek-inspired media, Hades looked back on Transistor's lightning-dependent art style and completely flipped the formula to compensate for the speed of the game. Hades may not entirely scream Greek mythology, but it's definitely up to the standards of Supergiant fantasy. It's really something when a company manages to drop such a distinct style and still come out so instantly recognizable.
Aesthetics Award for Worst Visual Aesthetics. And the nominees are
I'm Mr. Budget Card. I'm
13.
Mr. Red. I'm Mr. A-Sinker. I'm Mr. Overhead. Friends call me AMD. If only you knew.
Battletoads.
Can I be your friend too? GPU. He's Mr. Budget Card. He's
Marvel's
Mr. Red.
Avengers.
That's right. He's Mr. A-Sinker. He's Mr. Overhead. Friends call me AMD, and I must confess,
The Last of Us
my
Part
market
2.
share has me stressed. He's a mess. I never want to see a game that's gimped on any PC.
Warcraft 3
I'd rather
Reforged.
have it running in Vulcan frame rates a breeze.
And the winner is... Warcraft 3 Reforged. Okay, Warcraft 3 had been fully functional for 19 years. All they had to do was replace the models, something that the custom game scene has more than proven over the years is possible, so that sounds like a simple task, right? Then Blizzard took a fat shit on every shining accomplishment the original game had boasted and joyously declared, "Job's done." In true modern Blizzard fashion, the company decided to take a game that was designed entirely around the art style itself, throw all of it out of the window, outsource their models to some literal Who Malaysian company, and turn on Fulbright like it's some kind of unholy Half-Life mod. As a quick reminder, they advertised the re-release with a completely updated cutscene from the classic game. That wasn't in the final release. They remade the intro CG cinematic, and just that one. Hell, they even fucked up the menus. We're focusing on aesthetics here, so you'd think gameplay would stay out of this discussion, but even that's not the case since even the classic graphics got fucked up in the update. Do yourself a favor, just install an old version of the game and never update it. Even the original copies aren't safe from this train wreck of a remaster. The Warcraft 3 you've known and loved for 20 years, it's gone. Best to cast it aside and frost mourn its loss.
2K Award for the best video game of the year 2000.
Oh my god.
Deus
Daddy.
Ex.
What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame.
He can't really be.
The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. Counter-Strike. Diablo 2. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Deus Ex.
Your nomination to the VGAs should be finalized within the week. I've already discussed the matter with the janitor.
I take it he was agreeable?
He didn't really have a choice.
Did he do it for free?
Oh yes, most certainly. When I mentioned everything Deus Ex predicted about our modern hellscape, he was so willing it was almost pathetic.
This game, the rioting has intensified to the point where we may no longer be able to contain it.
Why contain it? Let it spill over with endlessly quotable dialogue. Let the levels open up and the gameplay spill over into the streets. In the end, they'll beg us to vote for it.
I've received reports of armed attacks by contrarians. There's not enough immersive sims to go around, and virgins are starting to get desperate.
Of course they're desperate. They can smell their death, and the sound they'll make quick saving will serve as a warning to the rest.
I hope you're not underestimating the problem. The shitposters may not go as quietly as you think. Intelligence indicates they're behind the problems in V.
A bunch of pretentious underage bands playing at running the board. But the board left them behind long ago. We are the future.
We may have other problems.
Mods?
Formed by the administrative order after the fappening on B. I have someone in place, though. I'm more concerned about Hero. He's relocating to Mutexico.
Our dedicated VPNs are far in advance of their mod tools, as is our interracial porn bots, and their big black cocks have allowed us to rile up half the site on boards they don't even moderate.
The V Offsprings?
Among other boards, but I must admit I've been somewhat disappointed with the performance of the other awards.
The Retro Awards should be online soon. They're currently undergoing rigging and should be streamed within 6 months. My people will continue to report on their progress. If necessary, the 2000 award will go to us.
We've had to endure much, you and I, but soon there will be order again. A new age. Moot spoke of the mythical Best Game of 2000 award. Soon that award will be a reality, and Deus Ex will be crowned its winner. Or, better than its winner, its god.
Humble Award Bundle for Best Video Game of 2010. Fallout New Vegas. Red Dead Redemption.
After all these years. It's silk sheets and Parisian whores from now on, mister.
Nier. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Bayonetta.
Vegas.
You feel that, partner? That's the sound of the warm, dry winds of the Mojave Wasteland, bringing in all the memories of the factions we picked, the companions we got to know, and sweet, unique weapons we found along the way. New Vegas being favored by V is pretty much a meme at this point, but it's not an unwarranted favor. As much as people on V itself like to make fun and say that we only care about whatever flavor of the month AAA game, we still have the same threads about how Benny is a pussy, how much cooler Eddie is in comparison to Rex, and how much we love/hate Ted Money. New Vegas is all V wants in the game. It fulfills what the story needs. It has enough gameplay and mechanics to entertain us with several different builds, different endings that are actually decided through your actions throughout the game, etc. Oh, it's a bit sad in a way that a game that is simply competently made, bugs and glitches aside, well written and moddable, is enough to be considered upper echelon in this current game scenery. To you, New Vegas, under the bright blue moon, we cheer.
What in the goddamn?
Most Hated Award for Most Hated Game of the Year. Genshin Impact. Warcraft 3 Reforged. Let's get on with it. Cyberpunk 2077. The Last of Us Part 2. Marvel's Avengers. Last of Us Part 2. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. For 3 console generations, Naughty Dog established themselves as frontrunners of both groundbreaking technical achievements and cinematic mastery. However, while The Last of Us made quite the splash when it dropped towards the end of the PS3's life, the praise it received was largely directed towards its story and graphics, not gameplay. Riding the tail end of the zombie survival trend, The Last of Us earned a slew of praise and a mountain of awards, in large part due to Naughty Dog's attention to detail. Through subtle world building and visual storytelling, they delivered an affecting character drama set against the backdrop of a gritty, depressing world that made everyone feel like shit. In other words, it was the Vidya equivalent of Oscar bait. 7 years later, however, Neil Druckmann managed to go a step beyond, making us feel just how horrible their world was. Just, in a different, unintended way. In the end of this 25-hour slog of self-induced misery, Druckmann's penchant for torture porn really put the player in quite an uncomfortable position. One that could only have been even more awkward for the developers who had to sit there recreating the company-mandated live leak gore videos he probably emailed around the office.
Check out this manga,
Neil probably texted the mocap director, who had been awake for 35 hours at this point.
At the end, a dude puts her baby in a blender, Lamau.
While The Last of Us as a series has never really been defined by its gameplay, at least the sequel has a solid story and well-written characters to fall back on, right? Well, what do you get when you take a game with mediocre gameplay and a great story and strip away the story while simultaneously taking a dump all over the original? You get this. A game that sits you down and shovels an entire day of misery down your throat with no payoff. A game that goes out of its way to destroy the main appeal of its predecessor. A game that sets up the most hateable character imaginable and then forces you into her shoes for the next 10 hours. A game that revels in making you do the horrible things and then chastises you for doing them. A game that V voted the most hated game of 2020. So to Neil and his 3 remaining employees, good job. Add this award to your pile. You didn't even have to pay for this one.
Least Worst Award for Least Worst Game of the Year. And the nominees are Doom Eternal, Half-Life Alyx,
Don't worry, it's unloaded. It's unloaded now.
Ghost of Tsushima,
Assassin! From Yarikawa! Traitor!
Hades, Yakuza Like a Dragon,
これっぽっちお前らヤクザのしのぎに影響ねえだろそれが影響大ありなんだよな
Hades. Let's go back in time for a little bit. The VGAs, this humble award show, started all the way back in 2011. We had dreams in our eyes and shitposting in our minds. 10 years ago, Bastion swept this award show and ruined our reputation for a generation to come. And now Supergiant is back to fuck us all over again. Ultimately, there's no better way to describe Hades than as a better Bastion, or to describe Bastion as a worse Hades. Either one works, I guess, but Supergiant realized what they'd done right, what they'd done wrong, and made both of those results even better. For once as well, Early Access wasn't just a label that excused a company from getting paid for a broken product, and instead actually let the devs listen to feedback and organically evolve the product to what it is today. Hades boasts faster gameplay than its predecessors, stars a cast of characters that actually feel as though they have a personality beyond just what you're being shown, and gives you a roguelike experience that focuses on accentuating your chosen playstyle rather than incrementally improving your assigned template. While it took a while to go from release to launch, it really shows just what kind of shine can come from a title developed out of passion instead of greed. Hades took everything Supergiant's fans had come to know and expect over the years and delivered a true love letter that perfects their previous formula. To fans of Bastion, it'll feel like a welcome return home, and to anyone else, one of the most well-conceptualized roguelike games ever made. So, thanks Supergiant, we're looking forward to another decade of being labeled as shills.